I have to work both platforms at the same time. We are in Clubhouse and in the Google Meet. Hello, everyone. So nice to see you all here. We waited a few minutes for everyone to gather around and join so we can begin with everyone intact. But if you missed the webinar, don't worry, we will publish a full version after the webinar is finished, and you can watch it later. So the first part of the webinar, we will talk about what is software as a service, what is the status of today, and what is the status of tomorrow, what we call software as a service 2.0. And the end of the session, we have a Q&A to have a small discussion about what is happening. So, and I have to switch screens here, 2 or 3 screens, so bear with me on that front as well. So let's start on what is it that we want to talk about today. So software as a service is evolving every time. It's evolving from the day it's born to the internet industry and today and tomorrow. So in 5 years in the future, the software as a service companies won't be the same, and it's really unlikely that we sell the same ideas and the same products that we are seeing today in the next 5 or 10 years. I love SaaS companies right now. I use maybe 30 or 40 of them every month in our company, in my personal use. So why they have to change? Because in 5 years, in 10 years, the software will be different from what we have today and what we have now. The same as what we have now is very different from what we had in 2010 or in 2011. We are the creator of the world that is the pioneer of change and innovation. We cannot not change ourselves. So what should change? When you have a software as a service company, when you design a software as a service product, you are providing solutions to people and businesses. But nothing's wrong with that. However, no matter how hard we try, we are basically creating one very dynamic solution for everyone, which is not ideal by definition because it's for everyone. It's not custom made. Regular software as a service companies right now are like canned foods, like pre-made meals. They get the job done. They satisfy our needs for foods and nutrition, and they have different varieties, different tastes, different options, but they are not real food because they are not custom made for us. And you, as a customer, as a client, or as a business, want real food, a food that is cooked specifically for your taste, based on your taste, your needs, and it's designed for you. In other words, the people and businesses want their own personalized, customized solutions because every business in the world is different. Every business, every user in the world is unique, and they have different needs, different tastes. So as we don't have any one-size-fits-all solution in any industry, we definitely don't have this in the software industry. You might say our software as a service company is different. We offer dynamic solutions so everyone can use our product, and based on their needs, they can change it. The truth is that these solutions are not dynamic enough. No two companies are exactly the same in anywhere in the world. So when we try to make our product dynamic, we are segmenting our customers in different groups and try to offer something specific for each segment. The same goes for software as a service companies, that when they are focused in niche industries and niche markets. This isn't wrong. It's not just enough. Each member of the segment is unique, and we are sacrificing the customization necessary for perfect customer satisfaction in the name of simplicity, affordability, and speed. Just like Henry Ford, when he designed the first car, he wanted to be affordable, simple, and be as cheap as possible. So it eliminated any customization, even the color, so it can be so much more affordable. And that's not right. It's not enough. So how can we solve this? The first answer is that it's impossible to solve. Since every one of our business, our clients are unique, it's impossible to solve. It's impossible to create a customized solution benefiting everyone's personal taste. It's not. We have a very obvious solution that we can have. Every business can develop their own customized, personalized solution, problem solved. But in truth, it doesn't work that way. Software is eating the world, but not for everyone. And not everyone is a developer. And they shouldn't be, of course. Development is hard and very expensive. I've seen many big companies wasting millions of dollars on their software development department or teams because they feel no software as a service company can meet their needs. They just couldn't find the right product. But at the same time, they didn't have the expertise to creating the software themselves. That's why they make such a crappy software everywhere in the world. Every business customized solution is so complicated, so unuser-friendly, and has a lot of bugs and problems. Some visionary companies found another way, a new perspective. Instead of offering our customer the solution, what if we offer them the right tools so they can create their own unique solutions? So imagine it's a puzzle. So you have the piece of puzzle and you can create the puzzle. So basically, they want to convert their customers to software builders. So no matter who is their customers, it doesn't matter. They are software builders and they can create software within the platform. And this is the new S in a software as a service 2.0. The S in the first part of the sentence is no longer software, it's software builder. It's software builder as a service. In SaaS 2.0, the term that is usually used for this kind of solutions, SaaS companies don't have to fool themselves and their customers with dynamic and advanced solutions that ultimately doesn't work and they are not efficient enough. Instead, by providing the right tools, companies empower their customers to create their own customized unique solutions, which is a small software based on their different needs, based on different stage, taste, personalization, customization, anything you want. But it's not as easy as we can say it here. Creating a product that can create software is extremely hard. And worse than that, there is a big pitfall. When you try to please everyone, the product can become very difficult to understand and use. And that will turn every one of your customers screaming away. Because when you try to create an Ethiopia of software for everyone to use, nobody will use it. It's too complicated for everyone. That's why a lot of companies who try and do this fail miserably. The solution obviously should be so dynamic to consider everyone's requirements. But additionally, the product should have a lot of features because these features are needed so everyone can experience actual customizations. This pitfall is too consequential to ignore. I've seen many big companies trying to avoid it, but at last they fell right in it. As you know, software developers love developing new features. So producing a product that can build software, can build products, and it's dynamic and 100% customizable would be like an ecstasy for them. It's a dream. It's a worthy challenge that the software developers can overcome only if they have enough features and customizations. So they see it as if you have enough features, if you have enough customizations already, the problem is solved. In order to provide enough features and customizations, software developers would end up with big products that has far too many features, too much bloated, it's too much bloated, and it's in dire need of constant refactoring and redevelopment. And worst of all, It's too hard for businesses to understand them and use them. It's not simple enough for businesses that are not software developers to create their own customized solutions. So it defied the exact thing that they wanted to solve. But there is another way. Let's forget about offering a software as a service product for now and focus on fundamentals of software design. Let's first mention a few examples of great companies that are achieving this today and how they are, what is their perspective and what is their approach. The first one I want to mention is Notion. You might know them. Notion is a canvas that you can populate with blocks. The blocks are tools. So the idea is the same as a canvas, same as a blank canvas. You can create anything you want to it and connect it and make it something unique for your needs. So you can do it in any way you want. It's a smart canvas, and each part that you create in it is a block, and they can get connected, they can get populated, they can have different views, anything you want. So it's great for creating customized solutions from to-do lists, from timetables to personal CRMs, anything you want, basically. It's great for documentations for teams, anything you want. Another one is Airtable. You might know this as well. Airtable idea is to merge the spreadsheet, the Excel, the Google Sheets, and databases, the SQL-based databases. Both of these tools are brilliantly dynamic, and yet they were hard to understand and connect into. Normal people can't work with Excel, can't work with databases. So Airtable helps you to create any connection you want and really understand what are you building. And the way they do it is by providing a universe of templates on how you can connect it without even understanding what are you connecting, and how you can see it without realizing it's just an Excel. It's a modern version that you can understand. So what you're building is no longer a database or a spreadsheet. It's a customized software capable of great teams designed by every one of your customers. The idea of Formaloo, which we work on, is something similar. Forms are one of the most essential parts of any software in the world. Why? Because forms are the gateway to both software development and the data collection work. So it connects the both. Formaloo simplifies the creation of your own solution with few essentials. With a simple form builder, you can design the way of you collect data as any way that you want. And as a result, the design of your database. So anyway you create your form, you design your database without even realizing that you're designing a database. And then you can connect it to whatever you want with any other tools that you have and turn it to very powerful and unique solution for your unique business. Another successful example, which is an old one, but a pioneer in this industry, is WordPress. You might think it's just for building websites and blogs, but that's just the beginning. WordPress is an ideology that now covers like 40% of the internet. So from a 10 website that you see, 4 of them is based on WordPress, which is a huge amount. Websites are just exteriors of the business. However, they are softwares in their own. WordPress doesn't care that what you're going to build. It doesn't matter. It's a personal website, it's a corporate website, it's an e-commerce platform. They don't care. The only point they are trying to make is this. They provide you with Jumpstart, a fundamental platform, so you don't have to repeat yourselves and start from zero. WordPress imagines all, and all of you do is producing and organizing content. Any content that you have, they don't know. Even if some of the tools that you are using are the tools in themselves, so you use different website creators, different form builders, different parts for your website. They just want you to manage content in the website that they provide, in the platform that they provide. The content can be anything. As a result, With the help of WordPress and millions of these ready-to-use tools, which they call plugins, which is a small software that help you to imagine new possibilities for your websites, and a community that's backed them, millions of developers that are backing them, you can use and modify anything that you want. And you can have your own very customized website without the knowledge of development, software development, website designs, UIs, or anything else. And you can create your own unique solutions. The baseline is this. You can create, organize, and connect them as you wish. Whatever you can think of, it's possible. All of these solutions offer you just a blank canvas in different forms. So you can just paint any picture that you want, create any software that you want without those tools to be complicated or unnecessarily big and customizable. Same as when the software design started, we shouldn't invent stuff and try to make it dynamic. There are many approaches that we can follow to achieve what we need. Every software has many essential parts. What if we take those essential parts, make them very, very small and simple, without sacrificing their power, of course, and then turn them into ready-to-deploy tools, tiny softwares, tiny plugins, tiny apps, tiny add-ons. This way, you can modify these tools based on your requirements, connect them with other tools, and create your own unique customized software. This process should be both simple and automatic for this to work. Otherwise, people get frustrated with the platform and they leave. Software as a service tool is the future of SaaS. The current SaaS companies either will change or in future they become software builders themselves. This is not a pessimistic view. This is what we often forget. The fact that we, as software as a service companies, are one of the most innovative industries in the world. We should monitor and expect disruption in our industry because we are the change in our industry. So it's the change within. And always remember, simplicity is the key to any product design. If our software builder is not 10 times simpler and more customizable than others, it will fail. Simplicity doesn't mean lack of features. It means the way you communicate understanding. It means the way your products talk to each other. It means to communicate the real needs to your customers, even when they don't know what they need. Another example on this is Microsoft Projects. Microsoft Projects and Microsoft SharePoint dominated the business industry for many years, and they were exactly what the customers need, the businesses. They needed exactly that, and they knew that they needed that, and they communicated to Microsoft, and Microsoft built that. But after a few years, more innovative companies saw that this is not what the companies need actually. The need of the customers are much, much simpler. So they created the next generation. And when those tools became available, the tools that the businesses didn't ask for it themselves because they didn't know that they had those needs, they changed it. They migrated to these new tools. So more often than not, your clients, your customers, whether it's people or businesses, don't know what they need. You should understand the why behind their need. And last of all, customization doesn't mean a lot of features and advanced solutions. It means freedom. Freedom to collect, freedom to modify and connect as you wish. And your customers should be free to do anything that they desire within your platform. Otherwise, they will leave for other platforms. So, until here, do you guys have any questions that should be elaborate on? And if any part not super transparent or super crystal on that, and then we can move to the next part. So if you have questions, either raise your hand in Clubhouse or unmute your microphone here. Or can ask in chat. So let's see what is amazing. Well, done software as a service on it and save huge amount of resources and time. Yes, exactly. So you can create anything you want. I know many powerful and successful startups doing a lot of their base product on WordPress or on Airtable or on Notion on any other platform. Because why you should reinvent the wheel when something is there, basically. When you have that, you don't have to code it yourself. It's a silly superstition that you have to do everything in-house and you have to do everything from zero. The software industry came a long way, so you shouldn't start from zero. And what is the name of your SaaS on it? It's Formalu, formalu.com. You can visit it. And it's a data collection and data analytics platform for businesses to use. So, Alex asked about marketing side of SaaS platforms. So the marketing side of SaaS platforms is the funny and the most difficult part of creating this software as a service platforms after designing the product. So assume that you have the perfect product for a market, and you have you know that your product is sound, right? So that's the main part. So what can we do for marketing? The first thing that every software as a service product needs and every startup needs in general is achieving product market fit. How can we achieve product market fit? For achieving product market fit, we need to understand who is our customer and what is the problem that we are solving. More often than not, the product that we develop is solving a problem. We just don't know whose problem is that. We know that it's problem for e-commerces, but e-commerces are not a group of people who live someplace in the world, so it's not a problem for e-commerces. The specific who is very important. For example, you work, a lot of great companies work from previous experience. For example, we ourselves work with customized solutions, data-driven business solutions for some of enterprises. And what we saw there, what problem this specific guy had, this specific business had, we wanted to create a product to address that, to see that as a stepping stone on what is the real problem. But as I said, understanding why people need something is more important than what they need, because they are more often than not, they don't know what they need. If they tell you what they need, it's not the same. If you develop what they say, we need this, and you develop this, more often than not, it fails, because after you develop this, they understand, okay, this isn't what I need. I need this. They say the exact same thing back to you, because the why behind it, the why they have that perspective that this problem exists is the main thing. So you should try to solve the why behind that. And there is a I don't know who said it. Some guys say the Ford said it. Some guys say he didn't. They said if 100 years ago we asked people what they wanted, they would have said faster horses instead of cars, because they don't know the cars can exist. So, but they want transportation. So when you want transportation, you should focus on why and how you can solve it. About the marketing, the first rule of marketing is that create because it works with trial and error. Create, identify a niche market based on previous experience that we talked about. Identify a niche market that your product should work. You see, we don't know where our product will work. We just can assume based on market research, based on previous experiments, based on advice of mentors, that we can assume where our product works. So single out the biggest assumption. So for example, our product should work with e-commerces. What e-commerces? E-commerces are too big. It should work with growth stage e-commerces. It's still too big. It should work with growth stage e-commerces that make more than $1 million and make less than $10 million a year. So that's a basic. Okay, where are they? For example, they are in Shopify. They are in WooCommerce. They use Magento. Okay, focus on one of that. For example, you focus on Shopify. So you narrow it down to where your customers are, and they are doing business basically. So you can offer it a very specific feature for them. My company can do these wonders for you. And because their number is so small, because it's a niche market, you can reach them with not a lot of money. With very, very small money on advertisement, on promotion, on inbound and outbound marketing, and you can reach them fast. The key here is fast than right. The fast is more important. So when you reach them fast, you can see either they love your product or not. If they don't love it, they like it so much, they are hesitating, it means your solution isn't working. So you have to look back. Either the product is a problem, the product doesn't work, or either the market is a problem. So you should change the market. You should change the product positioning, change the niche market that you try. A product, or for example, we had my previous startup, we thought that it was in event industry. We thought that the workshops will use our product the most. The 20 to 100 person workshop will use our company the most. And we actually spend a lot of money on that, onto getting them and to attract them to our platform. But we saw that no, bigger conferences, exhibitions, actually, international conferences only use our platform, and small workshops, they use different platforms, our competitors. So we focused on that. So sometimes the problem is the product, sometimes the problem is the market. So you change the market. But if you choose the market, a niche market, the trial and error will not cost you a lot of resources. It is the money, the time, anything that you have. Because you, as a startup, you don't have a lot of time. So you have to try and try again. If you tried many markets and it failed, the problem is in the product. The product is not solving anything. It's not solving the problem that is already in the place. So you should change it. You should change it back to the, you should change the product and solve a real problem. But the best thing in here is that when you try niche markets, the market will give you feedback. They say, do you do this? Do you do that? Do you offer this, that? And on that front, you understand what you should do next. I hope that was enough explanation on the marketing side. So niche market, try fast, fail fast, and pivot. Pivot and pivot again until you have product market fit. Some question has when we reach product market fit. When you have more than 10% month-over-month growth rate on your monthly active users, whether it's free or paid, doesn't matter, or monthly active, the metric here is monthly active users for every software as a service company out there. And when you reach 10% or higher monthly growth rate month over month on monthly active users, you reach product market fit. Otherwise, you're either developing a wrong product or you are in a wrong market. So, any other questions? And checking platforms. So about does Formula have product market fit and how do you know it? So one of the most important part of our job is to calculating the engagement of our customers. And that is actually one of the things that Formal provides to other startups as well as a service. It's one of our products called Customer Data Platform. So we actively analyze our customers. We actively analyze our customers based on these merits. We want to understand, first of all, why they are using Formal. Why? Why? What are they creating? Are they creating quizzes? Are they creating feedback forms? Are they creating gamification platforms? Are they creating NPS surveys? What are they doing? This what are they doing is linked directly to why they joined Formal in the first place. What was the need that they felt so they came to use Formal? And it answers our next questions. Are they satisfied with the service that they are getting from Formal? Are we satisfied them or not? And we do this with gamification. We develop a gamification algorithm to see the engagement and activities of each one of our customers. And actually, it went good. So we offered it as a service to other startups as well, and they use it to analyze their customers and drive up monthly active users. The, the next question that we had was that which industries are using Formally? Are there startups, for example? Are there, for example, real estates? Are there small and medium businesses, small and medium enterprises, educational institutes? Are there universities? Are there e-commerces? If they are e-commerces, in what stage are they? Are they starting out? Are they growth stage? Are they multi-million dollar businesses? Who are they? And when you have the who and why they are using Formalu, you can understand what you should do next to to get them, let's say, addicted to Formalu. So we want people to get addicted to Formalu. How we do that? We want people to get hooked into the platform so they cannot go away to another platform or different systems. The way we do that is that we offer them growth. If they see a growth in their own business, if they see the needs are satisfied, they will stay in and they will spend more money, they will engage more, and they will stay in. It's like addiction. So you give this addiction to every one of the customers and they see the growth in their business and they see the source of that growth is Formalu, so they stay in Formalu. That's the main thing. So then, but the metrics, the last part, the metrics that we use to see if you have product market fit in different markets, because in different markets you can have different product market fits and for different products, obviously. We measure monthly active users. We measure what we call monthly active engagement. It's the number of engagement per customer that we want to see. We measure what they do, why they do it, and are they satisfied or not. This is very important for us. So the gamification play a huge role. If a lot of our customers are not satisfied since the month before, there's something wrong. And with every industry, we can understand in what industries we are doing good, in what industries we are not doing good so good. So next question. I'm checking this way. Good. So how much time? Yeah. Like, okay, we have 15 minutes left, so we can talk about the next part. The important part of the new software as a service companies that should evolve and become is the simplicity and customization, as we talked about it before. This simplicity and customization doesn't necessarily mean you have to create a complicated software. On the contrary, most of the businesses that uh, uh, most of businesses that are successful today as a software builder created a very simple platform. So they just created a canvas again. And we came back to canvas because they created a canvas and it was so simple enough that everyone can use it as their own. For example, the idea behind the WordPress was that you can create websites, but the founder of the WordPress doesn't have a lot of team and doesn't have a lot of money on that front. They didn't start it themselves, so they used an open source, a laggy, buggy open source software that was a website builder, and they just put an axe on everything that doesn't work. So they trim it as much as they can. So when they trimmed it as much as they can, they end up with very, very simple code that was to manage content. And since they started with the blog platform, they said, okay, these content are the posts of the blogs or the pages of the blog, and we don't know what is happening tomorrow. The idea behind that was that, okay, we don't know what is happening tomorrow, and we don't know how people will use it. So let's not control them at all. Let's say that everyone can create any website with WordPress. Okay, how can we do it? The first answer is you can't. The second answer is you can with a lot of difficulties. For that, you have to have blogs. You have to have a lot of content blogs, and you should be able to redesign it as you wish, basically. So what they end up doing was to creating this content management system or CMS that can manage the contents, where should it go, who should see this, and where its relationship is to other content, and that's it. They didn't do anything else. Any other software website builder of that time and today are doing a lot more. WordPress didn't do that. They said, we are not doing anything else. But their customers said, that's not enough. That's just a content management system. It's just showing me the content, and that's not enough. That's not a website. We need more. So they asked, what do you need? And they listed a lot of things. They couldn't develop it themselves, but they can prioritize on what they can develop. So they created a system, and that is widely popular now, called plugins or add-ons or apps. So they said anything that should be added to our platform, which is not our core, because our core is to manipulate the content, should be added as a plugin. So we can develop the plugin ourselves, and we will develop the future of our platform through these plugins, or everyone else can develop the plugin themselves. Problem solved. So everything that a client asked them to do, they just created a plugin for that. And the plugin grew, and went on to creating this huge world of websites out there. So for the design, they use a plugin system called themes. So they can have any design they want. And for software, they created the plugins called plugins for themselves. Any other platform today use the same principle. Shopify has Shopify apps. Airtable has Airtable Universe, Airtable templates. Notion had Notion templates and workspaces. Any platform that is a no-code platform is doing the same thing. They are offering a customization that is not part of their core system with the freedom that they can choose. And that's the base part of the no-code platform. The no-code platforms or low-code platforms are doing the same, are doing this exactly. For example, another tool is a tool called Retool. It's for creating workflow automation between businesses. A lot of businesses need a lot of workflow automation between different databases that they have. So they hire software developers. Now they cannot hire software developers and use Retool or other tools to manage their automation, workflow automation between their company. It's not leaving their company. So anything that's going to be automatic will be automatic with the software builder. Any connection, any collecting of data, any connecting of data, and any understanding of data. So these 3 points will be automated within time. So, and that's the principle of the no-code platform. We have right now more than 100 no-code platforms in the world, and they are doing tremendous things in that front. And when you're collecting data from any data source, from people just typing in their data in forms, to people just using cookies, pixel tracking, any collecting of data, they are using no-code platforms. Any connecting of data between different platforms, they are using no-code platforms, and any data analytics platform of future will use the no-code platforms as well. As you can see today, if you use Formal for analytics, if you use Mixpanel, Google Analytics, Heap, or anything else that is today's work, you are creating your own dashboards. You are creating your own reports. And the way you do that is not predefined. It's just templated. It's like a plugin. You create a template of what's working, and you can copy it for yourself and for your own business. And this perspective are not creating a software that everyone have to follow the rules. It's working. So everyone can create templates. Everyone can work with templates or start from scratch, but they have the freedom to do anything else. In this part, open source play a big role as well, because with implementing open source softwares, you get a lot of more customizability, because you get the community to back you, a community of developers who are using the no-code platforms, who are using Formal, who are using Airtable, who are using WordPress to reduce their own times. Developers use Formal to cut down 80% of what they should do normally when they do data collection or data analytics. Developers are cutting down what they should do when they are developing a website when they use WordPress by 90%. So why shouldn't they? So they will be the community that is backing your platform to a brighter future. So let me see how much time we have left. So any question in this part? Because I think we have to wrap it up. So how did the customer consider Formula as the solution driving growth for them? And how you measure them? So the question is this: how do the customers consider Formula as a solution driving growth for them? And how do you measure them? So we had a lot of, and we have. This is not a solved solution for solved problem for Formula yet. We have a lot of problem on communicating what Formula can do for every business. And the way that we communicate to businesses today is this. We offer them two main points. We say when you use Formalu, you get people to order more frequently. So we are improving the conversion rate. This is the first point. We are improving the conversion rate. This is our first promise. And our second promise is that your customers will become loyal. So you have less churn. So our second promise is to reduce churn. This is our two main promises. Our third promise is that our software is do-it-yourself, so you can do anything that you want and you are not clocked by us or our system to do business or to create your own system. But that's beside the point. The third two is the main thing that businesses love to hear. And how we measure them is that we see how is the business is doing today. For example, this business is having $100,000 MRR today. And we are measuring the growth that is caused by Formalu. For example, after implementing Formalu, via the links, the activities that is linked by Formalu, for example, the forms they have, the customers they analyze, the discounted that Formalu created for them, the gamification that Formalu created for them, they have, instead of 100,000 MRR, they have 130,000 MRR. And the next one, they have 200,000 MRR. And this growth in the money, that is the profit that is coming out, coming to our clients' businesses, is our first metric. Our second metric, which is more applicable for startups, is the growth rate of monthly active users. So a lot of startups use us to drive up monthly active users, to get their users to come back. This is the same promise, increase of conversion rate and reduce of churns. But for startups, it's more like about monthly active users. So the growth in monthly active users of our clients, for example, they had 10K monthly active users in May, and they have 12K in June, and they have 50K in July. That's our main metric that we calculate. For example, in customers that use Formalu for the past 6 months, we have 2.7 times growth rate. It's 270% growth rate in MRR and customer loyalty. And just on average on all industries, but for a specific, I can go more specific. I hope I answered the question correctly. So, any other questions? We have like a couple of minutes left, and after that, we can wrap up the session. Awesome. So, thank you very much for being with me today, and I hope you enjoyed the talk, and I hope this was useful for you. If you have any questions on anything that we talked about, or anything that I can help, please reach me out via LinkedIn or Twitter, on any other platform that I have. I will send my LinkedIn account in the chat, and you can, if you want, me and Mehnush and all of the Formalu team are happy to help you in any way we can. Thank you very much, everyone. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope it was useful for you. Have a great day.